Welcome to 3.14 Freefly. You have 6 different ships to choose from. The Anvil Arrow, one of the most maneuverable small fighters in its class. The Misk Prospector, a ship designed to solo mine to your heart's content. The Crusader Mercury Star Runner, a ship that combines cargo capacity with multiple turrets and an excellent amount of maneuverability and utility. The Consolidated Outline Mustang Alpha, another dogfighter of a true descent. It can hold its own against any other ship in its class. The Origin 100I, a ship that does not even need fuel, or the Aurora MR are your choices. The Aurora MR is one of the most basic ships in the game, but it is a great tale of history of what we've come from and where we're going as part of the RSI family. The Robert Space Industries company invented quantum travel is the commercial in the commercial side of things, and is appreciated verse wide for its ability to get people home every time. The Aurora MR has a bed on board, which means you can log out in space, and yes, in this patch that actually works. The Origin 100i also has a bed. It is a luxury, small, very small vessel. However, do not mistake its smallness for its lack of utility. It is able to run without fuel. The Consolidated Outline Mustang Alpha is a ship without a bed that can dogfight. It is comparable to the Anvil Arrow, but it's not as good. The Crusader Mercury Star Runner is truly a unique ship in this lineup as it is a larger vessel. Expect to bring at least one friend along to truly operate the vessel in a true capacity. You will need at least one friend, and even then they will have to jump between the turrets if there is some PvP or PvE action going on. Luckily, the turret entry points are right next to each other. Additionally, it can haul cargo or a small vehicle, so you can rent a vehicle and try that different types of gameplay. The Misk Prospector is able to give you the capacity to make an immense amount of money quickly through the mining process. Do note, however, it has difficulty defending itself. Try to find areas that are not as popular, particularly away from Crusader planet where Orison is located. I would highly suggest places that are near Lorville, for example, where the moons are rich with mining material, and it is not near where most players will be, at least during the Freefly job. And finally, the Anvil Arrow, one of the most preeminent small dogfighters in the game. This ship does not have a bed, does not bring utility, but wow, can it dogfight. This is a ship you can truly hone yourself in and make yourself a name in the star system. You have from now through August 27th to decide which ships are right for you. And during this free fly, all 6 are available. There is a code you must enter, and that code is Get Into the Verse. Get Into the Verse. The link to the page that you put that code in is below. You make your account, you put in the code, make sure to add a referral code during it. If you decide to purchase the game package after your free fly or during your free fly, you will get a free Dragonfly, a rideable hover motorcycle, and also 5k UEC. If you have a friend who already plays the game, make sure to get their referral code. They will greatly appreciate it, as they will get the same gift if it's their first referral. If you do not, there is a code below in my description. Thank you for listening, and fly safe out there. Okay, so there is also discounted starter packs attached to this. I strongly suggest that you try out the ships during the free fly, whether you're a new or returning player. Check out the different ships that are available to you that are free. Find out which ones you like, and especially if you're a new player and you want to keep playing after the free fly, pick up a starter pack. Do note these starter packs are war bond. If you have spent any money at all in the store before, note that war bonds will not be able to use that credit. So if you've melted something, sold something, etc., and you want to put it to this, you can't. So this is one of those things where you have to spend new money to buy something on war bond. But it is about a 10% reduction in price, Some of them are a little bit higher. Now, this is all in USD when I'm looking at these prices. Do note that. So, out of the cheapest options of the four, there is the Mustang Alpha and the Aurora MR. The Mustang Alpha is a solid single seat fighter that is something that I would say is not on par with the Arrow, but it's a decent fighter, especially for its price. In the right hands, it can do some damage. The Aurora MR is a utility class ship. It has beds. It has a bed. It has the ability to have storage underneath of it in the future with the store all boxes. And it also has that nostalgia of being, well, the first ship, the Aurora. Not the first ship in lore, but the first ship we've actually seen in game sitting in a hangar. And it is, the MR is a more modernized one, etc. But since then, it's new models and everything else. But I would say that this is not a bad option for players considering I want a bed, I want to be able to work with maybe some friends that I have or I've made during my time in the game, and I'm looking more for having some combat capacity and also having that utility of being able to log off in the bed over where my friends are at. This will become more and more important as people do not spawn directly into stations or at planetary locations every time in some scenarios, especially with outposts coming online in future patches. But by that point, you'll probably, even if you're just buying ships in game, you would probably have a ship that's more suited for that. So do note that. Both of these ships, they have 3-month insurance, unfortunately. You have to hit the plus button on this to see it. They come up 1,000 UEC. They have them at 3 months insurance, and they do include the game, of course. So you're not just buying a ship, you're also buying the game itself, the persistent universe game that we call Star Citizen. If you notice, 1,000 UEC, 3 months insurance. That 3 months insurance, just a reminder, is only applicable after beta. So we're currently in alpha. We have to make it through probably a few years of beta after alpha, and then finally that clock would start. And insurance is only supposed to be, in the words of some developers, 1% of the operating cost of a ship, or maybe slightly more. But on such a small ship, it will be a negligible amount of money. So it is worth mentioning that, but it is a shame that it only comes with 3 months insurance. If you were to upgrade one of these ships as the ships get bigger, that would become more noticeable of an issue. So these are the kind of ships you would buy this game pack, appreciate the ship you got, and use this as your stepping stone towards newer ships, in-game or otherwise. The next package up is the 100i, regularly 65 USD, on sale for 58. It comes with 6 months insurance and still only comes with 1,000 UEC. Still, the 100i is, as I mentioned earlier, has a bed. It also has a ability to have intakes that can refine its fuel that is not quantum, and still be able to move around. So when it's on atmosphere, when it's in atmosphere, when it's flying around in space as a kind of like a shuttle for a single player, it is actually a great ship, a great option, because it is never going to let you down in that capacity. It can't fight that well, but it is pretty quick for what it is, and it never runs out of fuel, and it has a bed. So, I mean, it has a lot going for it, and it looks good. It's very Spartan on the inside for a luxury ship, but it is a luxury ship from Origin. I would have preferred them to have the 125 or the 135. They're the combat and the cargo variants of the 100i series. And I would recommend people who pick this up to, when the annual sale comes around, to do a small CCU to one of those two ships, whichever you prefer. The combat one, which brings a bit more teeth to the arsenal and makes this ship a little well-rounded because it has all the capacities of the 100i plus a bit of combat chops additional, or the 135C, where you're going to have your cargo on board, so you'll be able to carry a little bit more, and it has a unique cargo system that I really appreciate, and I think that's probably my favorite of the 100 series. I am a little biased towards the 300 series. I prefer them. They're slightly bigger, and they're not much higher in price. However, I do see the point of the 100 series. Do note you can spawn these at Platinum Bay. That's a location at a lot of small outposts and a place that normal ships would not be allowed to spawn at. It's a unique trait of the 100 series. Uh, Most ships that can do that are actually floating motorcycles, like your Dragonfly that you'll get with the referral program, or you've already gotten if you've already been through that system, and Noxes, these type of vehicles, or wheeled vehicles that are on the ground. Your Ursa rovers, your Cyclones, your Nova tanks, even your track vehicles, but not ships, especially a ship with a quantum drive. This is the one with the quantum drive that you can actually get there, and it can make its own fuel when it's not in quantum, moving around. That's pretty respectable. It's a great little ship for that capacity. A little pricey, and the insurance is a little stingy, but good option. Finally, you have the Arrow. The Arrow is also, once again, War Bond, regularly 90. It's on sale for 81 with the 10% off. This is also, I think it's 6 months on this one. Yeah, 6 months, 1,000 UEC with the game package, of course. And the Arrow is one of the best fighters in the game currently. It has been for many patches. And for the foreseeable future, I can see this if you're into the small fighter, dogfighting capacity, like the ultra agility over and firepower over all else. This is a great option for a solo player. I would say it's a little pricey for only 6 months insurance. If you wait for the annual sale, for example, to pick up an Arrow, you would get 10-year insurance, and that goes for all of these. But especially when you jump to this price point, because if you think about it, the package to get into the game is probably worth about $10 to $15, and then the additional price is the actual ship that's included in the package. The discount helps, don't get me wrong, the discount does help, but the fact it's new money you have to use for War Bond, and it only comes with 6 months insurance, does kind of sting a little bit. Out of this group, my instinct is to say stay cheap and get cheap and stay cheap. Especially something like the Aurora MR would be one of my favorites out of this. Get in the game cheap. I'm using air quotes here. You know, if you think about it as you're only spending $25 on an Aurora MR, and then the rest of it's going to the game pack, something like that. That's a little easier to understand and respect. And then say, look, it only has 3 months insurance, but I won't have to worry about that, years from now. And even then, it's not going to be a big deal to insure it or MR. I would not CCU this. I would not upgrade it. I would upgrade your referral Dragonfly. The referral Dragonfly you will get if you sign up by the end of the month with one of these game packs is worth the same amount as these Mustangs and Auroras, strangely. And also, it comes with LTI insurance. And so that's lifetime insurance. It's better than the 10-year even. And not only that, it is able to be CCU'd. So you are able to do ship upgrades off of that. So when you're seeing these prices, consider the fact that just buying any of these will qualify you for getting that free Dragonfly as long as you do it before August 31st. And then I would go to the pledge store and I would look at ship upgrades. And I would go straight to the Dragonfly Black, and I would pick one of these affordable ships that is only slightly more. Like, for example, the Pisces. That is a fantastic ship for $5. You can upgrade that Dragonfly Black to the Pisces for $5. And you can purchase the CCU now or down the line if you wish. And what you can do is sit on this and play with your Dragonfly, check it out, see the gameplay. You may even be able to fit that in MSR, the Mercury Star Runner. That's one of the Freefly event things right now. Maybe. But check it out. See if you appreciate it. You'll learn it's pretty big for what it is. And it seats 2 people. It's really cool. But it's not as cool as a ship that can carry equipment, boxes, SCU, cargo. And, for example, the Pisces can seat 3 people comfortably. They actually has 3 proper seats for people, so they won't be bopping around if you're in high atmo orbit and stuff. And it can carry multiple boxes. It has a ramp for $5 off that free Dragonfly you got. That's pretty good. So whatever price you see on that Freefly event, I would say that you would see those prices of $40, $58, etc., and just consider, okay, and then $5 more, I've got my LTI'd higher end ship. You can also do the 100i through this for $10.
So it is worth mentioning, and this would have LTI. And honestly, even if I got this, I would still hold out for getting this upgrade maybe, and then getting a 125A or a 135C upgrade when annual sale comes around for very cheap. I don't know, $5-10 more. So that's honestly my. Oh, here they are. Sorry. So yeah, $10 more. So you could get yourself a 125A today for $20 with the Dragonfly. It's a little expensive, I know, but that is an option if you do like the 100 series and you really appreciate them and you want a combat capable vessel. And then this kind of adds a lot of price. It adds another $5. But this one can carry a decent amount. It has a really cool pass-through system on its cargo where your character can physically climb in, grab its cargo, and it still has the bed. And it still stays small. If you appreciate the smallness, that's cool. But, I mean, you do have the 315P, which is a bigger ship. And the 300 series is my favorite. This is the Explorer version with a tractor beam on board. Down the line, and it has proper scanners, it has longer range, and then of course the preeminent combat fighter. So my point is that these prices can get expensive fast. So if you are gung-ho about picking up a package, you feel that pressure, I've got to get it by the end of the month, I want to enjoy the Freefly, and then I want to get a package, my recommendation is get the cheapest package, your choice, Roar MR or the Mustang Alpha, and then get yourself a Pisces upgrade. And all those other things I just threw at you, forget about them for now. That's my recommendation. Spend $45, have the game, have 2 awesome ships, and be set yourself up. And then down the line, the annual sale, next year, whatever, you can throw a few more dollars at the game, 10, $20, and you can upgrade the Pisces again and see where you're at. That's my recommendation to truly enjoy this game. If that's kind of a way to safely get into the game for not too much money, have a ton of versatility, and have a good time. And don't forget that these ships can make you money in game, so you can then buy or rent other ships that without spending any additional money. You can make enough money with these ships to be able to rent a prospector after the Freefly is done and grind out enough money to buy yourself a prospector or buy yourself a hauler that's bigger than these haulers. And then these ships would be basically your utility and your fallback ships that you always have to rely on, but your in-game purchase ships are just as going to be as important. And no, they do not require insurance right now. In-game ships have the same thing. If they blow up, they're on a timer. There's no expense. There's no nothing. You just hit the claim button and you wait. Well, while you're waiting, you can bring out your Pisces. So that's kind of the game right now. And that's the way it will be for a while. Now, in 315, things will change a little bit for Death of a Spaceman. Basically, your character will hurt. It'll hurt a little more for your character to die because the equipment on board and technically the equipment inside the ship you would lose. But the ship itself will be safe. And that's the most expensive and most difficult hurdle to get across. So use your money wisely. Use it as that ability to buy yourself into the game and buy yourself into a good position for you to be able to explore the universe in a comfortable way. Don't go crazy, especially on the game packages because they don't have good insurance. And that's just a nice little perk as part of spending the real world money is to have that nice insurance attachment. And don't worry, the big insurance is there on the Dragonfly if you really do want to get another ship. And that ship upgrade system allows for any of these upgrades. But I recommend staying low, sticking with these for now, and getting your feet wet on what you truly want. And don't forget, there are many organizations out there. You will find folks to fly with that are into every single thing you can imagine. During the 314 PTU, for example, just recently, I met groups that were into 2 different groups that were into hauling. I hung out with a group of pirates. I went with a group of folks that were pseudo bounty hunters. They didn't call themselves that, but they basically became that when it came to the Xeno threat. They were basically doing that instead of actually running the Xeno threat. They were just hunting the Reds, as they called them, which are the pirates, the players and the NPCs that are acting difficult, and they were getting paid for all that. So, I mean, there's something for everyone in this game. And that's not even tapping mining. It's just I haven't run into a lot of folks that are not just lone wolves that are miners. I think it's due to the way the ships are built and the fact there isn't portable refineries yet in the game, which we do hear through the rumor mill. There will be a small portable refinery. There will be haulers that better integrate through their tractor beams and the portable mining detachable vessels that basically hold all the ore. You will see more interplay, but right now it's more of a solo gameplay, except for the mole, which can seat 4 people, pilot, and then 3 turrets. If you can fill one up, that's a great way to make a fortune. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This was a video to kind of prepare people, eyes open, going into 3.14 Freefly as a new or a long-term returning player that wants to get up on what's available at this moment in this sale, and also what's available for free to use. You can use that code, get in there, have a good time, and please, if you appreciate this, like, comment, and subscribe. You know, all that nonsense. But more importantly, just fly safe, and please get in the verse and make this place awesome by just being a part of our adventure. Take care.